This is Nikita Plakis and welcome to my channel. Please like, comment, subscribe and share with a friend that needs to hear this. I love you and thank you for joining. Enjoy today's message.
So here's a mind bender. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions, right? You are the one who notices them. And once you get this, the law of attraction stops being hit or miss and starts working for you every single time. Stick with me, you guys, because I used to really think every thought that comes up, I have to engage with, right? But your thoughts is like, just Aaron Doughty gave me the best example of this, right? Just imagine you're standing on a highway and your thoughts are just cars driving by. You notice them, but only when you get in the car does that thought become you. So only when you engage with the thought, because so many times, like, our mind thinks, I believe 70,000 thoughts a day. Okay, way more than that. I feel like mine thinks 100,000 thoughts twice a day, all day. I don't even know how to explain how my brain works sometimes, right? But our mind thinks thoughts every single second of the day, right? Some of us. And learning to quiet your mind and to not identify as your thoughts with your thoughts, that has been very, very revolutionary for me in my journey, because so many times I used to think that I am my thoughts, and I used to think that every thought is relative to me, but nothing is, like the law of relativity states, right? Until you're related to something. So it's only when you engage with that thought and you perceive that thought as your reality does it have power over you. Because sometimes my brain still thinks like these old thoughts that are not true, and I'm like, wait, oh, but that's just a thought passing by. Because your brain could think about your ex, for example, or be like, oh, or your brain could be like, oh, I miss that person, or something that's not even that's not even true. Like, maybe it could be somebody else thinking that you should be feeling that way, because energy is a powerful thing, and a lot of people don't talk about how deep energy runs, because you could literally feel somebody else's energy about you, somebody else's thoughts about you, and confuse it as your own thoughts. Because so many times, because I have RSD and because I have ADHD, I'm very attuned to other people's emotions. I'm an empath. I feel everything. I'm a feeler. I feel everything other people are feeling sometimes, and I used to feel it so strongly, and because I feel it so strongly, I used to confuse those thoughts as mine. I used to allow somebody else's thoughts about me to become my own, not knowing that, hey, whoa, that's not my thoughts. And once I understood that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, and I stopped engaging with every single thought I had, I was able to be like, but is that really me thinking that, or where did that come from? And then when you start questioning the thought, or you start being like, the best example, I have it written on my whiteboard, it's like you're seeing your thought as a wave, like being like, oh, but it's only when you engage with that thought and you accept that thought does it become you. Sorry, I'm just fixing my eyelash because it's annoying me. Oh wow. So here's the thing, right? The law of vibration, thoughts and emotions are just energy signals, right? And you, the receiver, not the signal itself. Like I said, like, your thoughts just pop up, but that doesn't mean you engage with your thoughts. That doesn't mean you are your thoughts. Sometimes thoughts are just thoughts, emotions are just emotions. And it doesn't mean you don't have to engage with every single thought, and you don't have to engage with every single emotion. But if you do not understand that your thoughts are just your thoughts, you confuse your thoughts as your reality, as their facts, and it becomes suffocating sometimes too, depending on the thought and depending on the situation and the circumstances that you are thinking those thoughts on, right? So you are the receiver, you're not the signal itself, right? And you choose which frequency you tune to, because the thought could pop up and you could be like, whoa, oh, that's an interesting thought. Because what I learned, and you guys need to get into what's the dude's name? There's this version of ChatGPT called the Architect, right? It's a sort of AI, but it's for people who are super, super conscious, right? And it explains stuff in a geometric way and a mathematical way. And I this is what I learned from there, right? Like, that your thoughts your thoughts could pop up, right? And this is a practice that I practice. So when thoughts come up and I'm like, whoa, don't say I am thinking that. Say, oh, I see that there's a thought about, for example, you could think, like, I don't know, about my girlies out there or my guys out there. If you have a complex about your weight or whatever, you could think those like, oh, I'm so fat or whatever. Your brain will be telling you that, right? But you could be like, oh, there's that fat thought again, but you do not engage with that thought. You call out what you are thinking, but you do not claim it when you call it out, because remember, whatever follows I am becomes yours. So be very careful about what you attach I am to, because I used to say, oh, I am procrastinating, I am, oh, and I don't even want to say that. Oh, no. When those thoughts come up, and you will get thoughts like, I am stuck, right? No. Say, oh, I see there's a stuck energy around me. I see there's a perception of myself being that, but that is not me. So you do not have to engage with every single thought. You don't have to engage with every single emotion. You could see yourself getting hella sad about something, right? But you could be like, oh, there's a perception. I see that there's a sad emotion, but you do not have to engage with the emotion. You can literally just let the feelings come through, because sometimes things and energy is just passing through you, ready to exit, but we replay those things when we claim it as ours, and that's how loops keep perpetuating over and over and over again. You're like, how the hell am I here again? Because you never let it go. And sometimes you just need to learn to become the best observer in your life and just see things for what they are and accept them as they are, but just understand that you don't have to engage with every single thought, and you do not have to engage with every single emotion, because you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. They are just thoughts, and they are just emotions. It's only when you claim them, and only when you say, I am such and such, does that become you. Because the law of relativity states that nothing is until you're related to something. And that is, it's over every single aspect. Over every single aspect. So yes, if you want to stop claiming that you're fat, and instead you can start telling yourself different stories about the thoughts. Like if you have a thing like, oh, I'm gaining weight. No. If you do not want it, why are you engaging with it? Because the thing is, like, the law of vibration is real. Whatever frequency you tune to becomes yours. You need to understand that, good or bad. So be very careful about what you claim and what you are saying I am too, because whatever follows I am becomes you. Okay, so you are the receiver, not the signal itself, and you choose which frequency to keep tuning to. Okay, and then the law of polarity states that every emotion has an opposite: fear, love, doubt, trust. Okay, and this is why, like, so many times when we are pursuing a different path or something new, right? So it's like, you want success, but in the minute, you need to understand that with the pursuit of success, there's going to be some failure involved. Like there are opposites. It's polarity. You don't get one without the other. It's like light and dark. It's like trying to be a light in this dark world, but you need to understand that there is darkness. It's like shadow work and light work. It's like so many people want to be light workers, but they don't want to be shadow workers. They don't want to talk about the dark side of spirituality. And there is a dark side of spirituality. We all have a negative self trying to keep us exactly where the hell we are. And then we have our light working self trying to get us to that point. But the thing is, once you start dancing with your shadows and embracing with your lights, that's when the real transmutation starts, because you need to accept all aspects of yourself. It's like me trying to say that I am this person, but I want to deny the fact that I was a drug addict for 5 years, and I don't want to acknowledge the dark side and the dark paths that I've walked on and the crazy thoughts that I had and the fact that I tried to kill myself 13 times. That's why I do this. Like, that's why I'm obsessed with this work, because I know that it works. Okay, and I know that people can change. Why? Because I have changed, and that's why I'm so passionate about spirituality, because personal development was like a gateway drug to spirituality for me. And I was studying personal development for so long, but it's only when it came to spirituality and I started to see myself as I am and not as the world thinks I am, and I started reprogramming my subconscious mind, my conscious mind, and my freaking entire cells in my body, because it's a body soul mind coherence. So it's only when those things came into place that I could fully be myself, you know, and accept myself and understand myself and stop engaging with every single thought. And because I had dark thoughts, I was freaking suicidal. So can you imagine the thoughts I have? I have something called RSD, which freaking magnifies every single emotions that I feel. So for me to sit here and tell you that there's hope for you, for someone like me, if I can change, anyone can change. And the thing is, like, what we don't understand is about the spiritual path is the more you become conscious, everything around you starts changing. And it's so deep that, guys, like this work that I've been doing, I have seen my own mother change because I changed the perception that I have of her. This is that people don't talk about how deep consciousness is and how deep it gets when we start accepting what is and just forgiving, no matter how bad the situation was or how severe or how much the hurt was. And I'm talking about, I have a narcissistic parent, guys. I have an avoidant parent. I have one narcissistic mother, an avoidant father. Thank God for my grandmother, who is all love and joy and glory and spiritual. Thank God for that woman, because that was my upbringing, that was my foundation to this world. Like, I was literally set up to fail, but I chose to succeed anyway. Why? Because I dictate my reality. I dictate my outcome. You dictate your reality. You dictate your outcome. Your parents are just your parents. You decide how shit goes in your life. Okay? And the thing is, so every emotion has an opposite, like fear, love, doubt, trust, right? And you exist above the scale. Like, once you become the observer in your life, you exist above the scale, because you can observe your life, and you can observe your life to the point where you are just taking notes about how you're going about things. And practicing non-judgment has also helped a lot with not engaging in the thoughts and the emotions. And when I say non-judgment, I mean non-judgment to other people, and just understanding that if people do you wrong, just salute the divinity in them, and just try to ask yourself, what is it that they went through to make them the way they are? This was the best way for me to stop allowing people to get to me. Just understand, like, what is it that they went through? Like, what childhood wounds do they have for them to be those kinds of people, and to think that this is the way to treat other people? And have some compassion for their little inner child and what they had to go through to have such a sorry state of life, and be proud of yourself for choosing a different path. That's what I do each and every day. I salute the divinity in people. I have had people like be so mean to me for no reason and treat me any kind of way, right? But I understand that they acting from a wound, because hurt people hurt, period. Hurt people hurt. And people who are learning to love and grow, that's all they are, and that's all they embody. Like, I'm an embodiment of love, because there was such a big lack of love in my life. I became love itself. And love is the cure for everything. And I don't care who does what to me. I will still show people kindness. I will still show people compassion. I will still keep my head up high regardless. Why? Because you decide how things affect you. You decide how people affect you. You don't have to react to their misery. You don't have to react to their bitterness, because there are some bitter people in this world. There are some miserable people in this world, and you can still choose who you want to be, right? And you exist above the scale, so you can choose from the pole you live from, right? And the law of cause and effect states that thoughts trigger feelings, right? And feelings influence actions, right? And actions shape reality. And it's called, I love Alex Morton and Bob Proctor's the TEAR method, because your thoughts create your actions, right? Your thoughts create emotions create the actions, and the actions dictate your results or your reality, I like to say, right? So thoughts trigger feelings influence actions shape reality. So the thoughts you think determine how you feel, okay? And the feelings you feel determine how you influence your actions, because you could think thoughts like, oh, I'm stuck, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that, and then you confused about why you find yourself stuck. No, but if you change your thoughts and you be like, yo, I might be perceiving that thought, and you see that thought at a distance, and you're like, oh, I see that thought, but I'm choosing to progress. And then whatever that thought is that's coming up, tell yourself the truth about that thought. Right? And then you break the chains by choosing the cause you want. Okay, you break the chains by choosing the cause you want. Instead of reacting to the old cause, you choose the cause you want. You literally denounce that lie and you replace it with the truth that you are great, you can do this, of course you can. Things are always working out for you. Everything's working in your favor. Money flows to you easily and frequently and abundantly, right? And become the observer of truth, right? You're like the sky. Thoughts and emotions are just clouds passing by. I like my traffic analogy, but they're also just clouds passing by. And clouds can't stain the sky, and emotions can't stain your soul. So we need to shift the language, right? So instead of saying like, I am angry, say, like I said, I notice anger in me, and say, hey, I notice, hey, there's a little bit of emotion there, there's a little bit of anger there, right? And then pause before you engage. Like, take a deep breath and remind yourself you are the observer in your life, and you are simply observing these emotions and these thoughts, and that they are not you. You always like remind yourself until it becomes embedded in your subconscious mind. You are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. Your thoughts are just thoughts, your emotions are just emotions. They don't define you. And remind yourself nothing is until you relate it to something. Like, I literally wrote that down for years because I needed to understand those laws of the universe, and they are so crucial to the basic foundations of life, right? And like I said, go from I am angry to I notice anger in me. And then you say, like, you take a deep breath and you remind yourself, I am the observer in my life, that this is my dream. I create my reality. My soul is dreaming. God is dreaming a dream through Nikita right now, right? And I am, whatever follows I am, is who you're choosing to be, right? So take a deep breath and remind yourself that you are simply the observer. You don't have to engage with your thoughts. You don't have to engage with your emotions. You choose your thoughts. You have had choice your entire life, my loves. What have you been choosing? And has that choice been working for you? Right? And set a higher frequency. Ask yourself, what thought feels closer to the reality that I want? What thought feels closer? Because like for the longest time I was telling myself, oh, I'm procrastinating. Oh, I'm stagnant. It's no wonder I was procrastinating. It's no wonder I was stagnant, because I became my thoughts, because I said I am. And whatever you follows I am becomes you. Okay? Use gratitude as a reset button. Gratitude raises the vibration instantly and makes you a magnet for better. So my favorite gratitude practice is first thing in the morning, right? Write down, like, it's to the point where I don't need to write it down anymore, because I just sit and I just start thinking about everything that I'm grateful for. And I've literally become gratitude. Like, I'm so grateful for everything. I'm even grateful for the bad shit. Like, I'm grateful for it all, because I know and I understand and I overstand that whatever I'm sitting in, it's literally what I asked for. Because remember, Matthew 7:7 says it best: when you ask, it is given, it is given, it is given, it is given. Every single time you ask, it is given. God doesn't differentiate whether you are in agreement with what you're asking for. God doesn't be like, oh, she means it like this. Oh, so we want to give it to her. No. When you ask, it is given, it is given, it is given. Now you need to ask yourself, what am I asking for vibrationally? With the thoughts that I'm thinking and the emotions that I'm feeling. And now that you understand that you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions, you no longer need to subscribe to those thoughts and emotions. You can simply observe them passing by and engage with only the thoughts that you want, because this is your reality. This is your dream. And now that you are awake in the dream, you are in control of that dream. So how do you want this dream to go moving forward? That's the real question. That's the divine practice that you need to start practicing each and every day. And that is something I actively practice and I actively do. Why? Because it freaking works. Because it's the reason I can show up here today. It's the reason I can be a different version of myself. It's the reason I can show up each and every single day now. Because I understand I am not those thoughts that are telling me that, oh, that I'm not that perception of stuck. It only becomes me when I engage with it. Do you understand? So I'm going to see you guys at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. And just remember, the sky has always been the only freaking limit. So go ahead and chase it. And you can be, do, and have like literally whatever you want to in this world without limitations. And forgive my lash, because I can see it go over there. But who cares? We're not here to be perfect. We're here to be effective. And I hope this lash didn't distract you from the message. And I love you guys. And just remember, like my girl Regan Helia says, you absolutely can have it all. Don't let anybody else tell you different. I love you. Mwah.
Thank you for watching till the end. You definitely are my people. I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.